Right, welcome everyone to our CYouNextTuesday podcast. This week's episode, we're going to be exploring sexual abuse. This is very much part of Lucy's healing journey. It's Lucy's own story, one that she's working incredibly hard on to share with the world in the form of her new book that she's currently working on. I understand this subject is a deep, dark subject for those that have been on the receiving end of abuse. I know maybe people may find this episode distressing, may find that it actually evokes memories, feelings, emotions within themselves, if they've even remotely been around it or endured abuse at any time in their life. Please know that this episode is only to raise awareness, share Lucy's journey, and see if there's anything in it if you've been somebody that has experienced abuse. Whether you can pick up anything, whether there's anything that you can learn from Lucy sharing her story, to maybe explore yourself, maybe find, a new avenue to gain some form of clarity, some form of support, some sort of comfort, or use any of the tools that Lucy's got under her belt as an explanation for yourselves. So,
nicely said. And I think, the goal is to know that people that have been through sexual abuse, they're not alone, and unmask some of the feelings that are carried long past being a child. That's sort of what it's about.
Brave, Lucy.
No, I'm not feeling that brave.
I know, brave.
But I'm ready.
No worries. So, where do you think you would like to start? Where do you want to anchor in on this point for this podcast? Because I know that we've got like questions for interviewing, but obviously where?
I don't really know. I think for me, for a long time, sexual abuse was a factual script that I could tell.
Right.
I think I still divert to that. And I think that actually there's a lot more to the abuse. It's more about the stuff you adopt that isn't yours, the guilt, the shame, not feeling good enough. And I went to a talk about psychedelics and trauma, and actually, and the lady on stage said, I was sexually abused as a child and sexual abuse is actually my superpower. And there was almost like a light went off and I thought, I agree. I hear you, this is my superpower. And for years I've said, right, I want to be a public speaker. I released a video on YouTube. I've just touched on it as and when I felt strong enough. I've been very aware of people's perspectives and they can really range from, oh my God, I'm so sorry, which is, I understand why people react like that. I've been treated differently with gloves on. I've been ignored because they don't know how, I assume they don't know how to deal with it. So there's been so many different aspects, and I just think my uncle recently has given me some feedback. As you said, I'm writing a book. And I've asked for feedback on the ripple effects from the family, because I think most things focus on the person that was abused, but it impacts on such a massive level. It's like a massive ripple. And he said it's always been an elephant in a room. Yes, we knew about it. Yes, it was like factual. This has happened. Then it was caught, and then this. And nobody really knows anything else but that. And I think that sort of spurred me to say, right, okay, I'm going to lay myself bare. This is the impact that sexual abuse has on me. It's not have the same there are undercurrents that you'll read about. There's Christine Sanderson, it's highly recommended when dealing with shame. That seems to be a very prominent thing for people that have been sexually abused, shame and guilt. So I'd definitely recommend reading her books. But it's about, my journey is mine. You don't judge the same as me, because I think a lot of people have done that in the past. And your journey is personal to you, and however you choose to heal or deal with how you deal with that, that's your thing, and that's not.
But it takes all sorts to heal.
One size doesn't fit all. It's my message that I was trying to mumble across.
Yeah, no problem. What do you think has helped you then on those dark days?
Friends and family. Mainly friends, actually. I find sometimes it's hard to talk to family because they have been so involved. Music, and I actually found myself this morning, I have actually screenshotted. So I've gone through plethoras of different songs that made a lot at this. Emily Sanders' Read All About It was when I first decided that I wanted to start talking about sexual abuse. That's the song I used on my YouTube channel. Jessie J was another one. She's done one about looking in the mirror. And today, and for the last probably I don't know how long, I won't put a name on it, my song has been She's Broken But She's Beautiful. And it's just some of the words. Can someone just hold me? Don't fix me. Don't try and change a thing. Can someone just know me? Because underneath, I'm broken, but I'm beautiful. And I think there is a element of me that, as much as I heal, there's a part of my a predominant amount of my childhood I was broken. And
when you say broken, was that how you felt about you, or was that how you felt? What was broken, Lucy?
My soul. I think I hid. I tried to do anything to be under a radar. And then I think when I spoke my truth, the absolute shit show that followed that was horrific. Like, it made me be scared of my voice, because I saw people destroyed. I then suffered more abuse from a head teacher that made me tell him every last detail of my abuse. That was raised, but nothing really done, to my recollection. I was only 10. But then 10 years later, he got prosecuted for child pornography on his computer.
Wow, so thinking that you were sharing your trauma with somebody that was...
I knew it was wrong. I knew when I was in that room that it was wrong. I knew that he was asking me things that he shouldn't ask me, but I didn't have the language or the capacity to deal with it anymore. And although I told my mum...
Can I ask what age you were?
10, when he asked me. My sexual abuse was around 6 to 10. There was another one when I was about 11. But it's a large part of my childhood that was lost. And I think that although I probably wouldn't call myself broken, there's a part of me that has been broken, and it's beautiful now. Whereas I look at that part and go, that's not good enough, you're not good enough, you should be embarrassed, this is embarrassing, you should be ashamed. What did you do to make him do that?
Wow, that's how you really felt?
Yeah, that's my real reality.
Can you see though, which the age that you explain, you can see as an adult why your go-to was to think those things, because when you think of a child of that age, you don't really have the emotional maturity or the language or the understanding of what emotion fits what reaction truly to actually think any better than that. Can you, Lucy? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
And I got the blame. There was
you got the blame.
An incident with his parents that said, and it stuck with me for, it makes me sad, for years, that if you hadn't worn a nightshirt, this wouldn't have happened. So not only did you sort of feel that anyway, and that shame, I literally got told that was your fault. If you hadn't worn a nightshirt, he wouldn't have been sexually attracted to you, pretty much, in a nutshell. So, sorry, I need a drink. So that's where the shame and the guilt just amplified even more, because I took that on. And then there was stuff.
And this was from his parents.
Yeah. And that, basically that I was causing trouble within the family, and there was a lot of outside influences that had a lot to say at that time, and there was lots of positives, but when you're in that situation, all I could focus on is those little things, and some of that's one of my biggest memories, being told it was my fault. And then now, as an adult looking in, I think, oh, fucking dare you! Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely fucking not. That is not your fault. But by then it's too late. It's already internalised.
What made you brave enough to tell? Bearing in mind, how old were you when you disclosed what was going on? I've got a 10-year-old.
I've got a 10-year-old now.
Hello. Yeah. What made you brave enough? I know our 10-year-olds wouldn't stand for it, because I know what me and you have invested in our children.
Yeah.
So I know that our 10-year-olds would not. We know the work you do that created the difference in them. What made you brave enough at 10 to disclose that?
I don't think it was bravery. I think it was knowing that it was wrong. I didn't really know. It was normal. For me, my life, as long as I can remember, sexual abuse was normal. I had sex ed at school and realised it wasn't normal. And that's what made me say.
So the minute you had that knowledge and that understanding...
to be honest, I don't remember the timeline in between me realising and me saying. I don't know. Time doesn't really exist when you're 10 years old. But that's where that came from.
Yeah. Are you proud of that 10-year-old for showing up?
Yeah, I do. I am proud of her. I think she still needs a lot of love. I do a lot of inner child work. I do a lot of things that I wish I could have done or enjoyed at that age. I know what tissues for a reason. Because there's I think that inner child still feels quite a lot of loneliness at that time, I think. And I, as an adult, feel that even when I'm surrounded by people that love me and that I can talk to, that sometimes I just feel alone. And I think it's being alone in the struggle, worried that people think, fucking hell, she still can't going on about that. This happened years ago, do you know what I mean? And no one's ever said that to me, but it's an internal thing. I think that not being good enough, I think I have literally lived in fight or flight for so long, I'm exhausted, physically and mentally. And when I sort of look at that song, someone just hold me, don't try and fix me, don't try and change a thing, is sort of where I'm at. Well, it is where I'm at. And I think...
Do you know why those words resonate? Because she's not broken.
No, and I don't, to be honest, I don't feel broken, but there is a part of me that was broken, and that part of me, although I've healed it and it's not broken, there's still cracks.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Like, I really truly believe that sexual abuse is my superpower. I believe we're all put on this earth to make a difference. I'm thankful, in a roundabout way, that I was sexually abused. I wouldn't have worked with kids in care. I wouldn't have helped and supported the kids the way I did and still do if I hadn't been abused, because I could empathise, but I feel. And I remember one girl disclosing to me and looking at me in the face, and she said, Lucy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'd never ever told her, but she knew. She
knew. The trouble is, Lucy, to be able to teach people, you've got to have lived it.
Yeah.
If you haven't lived it, you can't really teach it.
No.
Which is what makes me and you quite scary people. Or makes people scared of us.
Oh.
But it's, you know, when you think of that little version of you, you know, little did she know just who the hell she would become.
I know, and do you know what? I was even thinking of a little version of myself, which you can look at photos of me and you can see like my this dark circles around my eyes. I think, how did nobody notice? But even like just laughing in my like literally laughing in my head right now, like sort of having this conversation with this 10-year-old, as screwed up as that sounds, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, I had an ugly cry just then, Luce.
Say that again.
You weren't an ugly crier. You just cried. You just cried. Oh, you weren't an ugly crier. And I sort of like those sort of things. Like I laugh about myself, and you know they're. I probably make some really inappropriate jokes about sexual abuse because it is part of who I am. My friend, Liz, who's my very, very close friend, she's had some really unfortunate events, and when her mum died, my mum's died, and I go, well, my dad abused me. And we're like a competition so that we can, who gets to choose what we do that night.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you need to make light of shitty situations. Like, sometimes I can see people go, I can't believe she just fucking said that. And I think, well, do you know what? It was my abuse, and if I want to laugh and joke about it, that's my bag.
Yeah, and if I want to own it...
I've earned that fucking badge.
Yeah, and if I want to own it and not have that define me...
Yeah.
If laughter's my way through that, then who are you to tell me how I sort of deal with it?
100%.
I mean, yeah, I must admit, I am a fan of that. I mean, I've battled a few things myself, and I find like my very dark sixth sense of humour, especially with my daughter Sheridan, is what gets me through most days. If people could hear some of the things that we laugh and joke about, I think people would be like, wow. You know, the judgment would be huge, but sometimes it's what gets you through, you know? So then that's what, those things then obviously are what help you on your dark days then. Yeah,
sometimes, And I think what helps me is speaking my truth. I was going to say this then, but I think sex is not a subject that is easily talked about in England.
Oh.
And if anyone is a sex therapist or works with sex, come and do a podcast with us, please. But I think it's normalising that healthy sexual relationships, which sort of leads me on to how that's impacted me in my sexual relationships. Until I was about, I don't even know how old I was, not long ago, I couldn't even have sex sober. Because there was a blockage with and that's my truth.
There's a blockage with what? Sorry.
There's a blockage between, and I really find this hard to talk about, but I think it's really good to own, because sex automatically feels, there's certain parts of your body that feels nice when they're touched. Clitoris being one of them, and being a child and feeling those pleasurable feelings and having no control and not understanding what they are, to then transpiring to be an adult, that's a shameful feeling to feel. So to take the shame out, get pissed. Don't get me wrong, it didn't always work.
Couldn't disassociate the two.
No.
Right.
And it's taken so much work to get to a place where I feel sexually attractive for the right reasons, to feel pleasure, to not
allow yourself to feel permission.
But also to get I don't know where I've gone with that. So pleasure, but also to just feel comfortable within myself, I think, and to deserve that, I think, is the main thing. It's like almost like sex has been a bad thing. I have used sex to feel normal. I have, probably in the younger years, I was like, come on, like, let's have a boyfriend. this is what I need to be normal. I need a boyfriend. I need to be having sex.
Because that was your normal for so long, do you think? Or...
Because I wanted to prove to the world that I was normal.
Oh, sorry, got you. So you, right?
So
okay.
I had to have a boyfriend. I normally at that 16, 17, you are in a sexual relationship. But that for me, when I didn't have that, I was like, oh, damn not normal. Well, I'm not like that anymore.
So almost to blend in then, to not be the one that stood out. Or...
Yeah. And I think I then had a partner who is my daughter's dad, who was very controlling and aggressive. So a little bit abusive, but in a different way.
Okay.
And I have also a lot to be thankful for that relationship about, because I wasn't contained. I was losing control, and because he was so controlling and so demanding and so jealous and so, you couldn't do certain things, I do believe at that time he saved my life, because there was no one else doing that. I was just wild. And I don't know where that would have ended up. So although he was abusive, we don't have contact and we don't speak, and Chloe's made that choice herself when she was about 14, 15. I'm grateful to him for some respects, because I needed someone to take control. And then I've mentioned that he's Chloe's dad, so I'm emotionally vomiting. Chloe's dad, and when Chloe was born, was really traumatic for me, because when you do a lot of work on sexual abuse, you'll notice that people say, oh, okay, yeah, I did that because I was sexually abused as a kid. So my go-to, I've had a child, everyone's going to think I'm going to sexually abuse her.
Yeah, because you do hear of this stigma, don't you?
And I was 17 years old.
You was what, sorry?
17, and naturally, did people look at me, or was it in my head? I couldn't tell you. But I had a nervous breakdown based on that subject, that everyone would think I would abuse my kid. And for probably the first 6 months of Chloe's life, I didn't want to bond or get close, because I thought if people see that, that's what they're going to think about me. And that is, would I say I feel guilty because I can understand it? Probably not, but I carried guilt with her, and that was probably the first 6 months, maybe even up to a year, where I didn't give her my all because I was so scared.
Frightened too.
I was scared, absolutely petrified, yeah.
So not only had you had, it's another major milestone in your life that's been taken, based on what happened to you as a child, and again through no fault of your own, it's still attached to those things where those people had made those judgments, made those insinuations and accusations towards you, and that impacted the first 6 months of your life with your baby.
It's impacted lots
through
of
fear,
relationships, loads and loads, and it's just forever impacted relationships, really.
Specifically with men, or?
Specifically with men, I'd say more predominantly. But also, predominantly with men. And I think my relationship now is so different, because he doesn't see me as someone who's been sexually abused. He knows I've been sexually abused, but he sees that as my superpower. And he doesn't try and change it, doesn't try and fix it. He can listen when he needs to listen, and he can step back when he needs to step back. And I think my previous partner, I've got so much to be thankful for. Like I was with him when I started my counselling journey, which was fucking hard. Like, I literally lay bare everything. Unfortunately, our emotional intelligence grew at a completely different rate.
Just took different paths.
And then that turned into quite abusive towards each other, and needed to stop. But he was also a safety blanket that I didn't really want to totally take off for a while. But ripping that off is one of the best things I could have done for both of us.
Yeah, especially for somebody that has supported you for so much of that journey.
And we are, and as much as unpopular belief, we are friends. Like
Yeah.
we will text. It is predominantly about Vinny, but we have those honest conversations. He's like been thankful to me for some advice that I gave him that's personal to him. But you know, there is that communication and that openness. And if I ever felt, oh my God, like I'm not coping with life for whatever reason that people weren't around, would I hesitate to pick up the phone? Absolutely not.
Yeah, just because others don't understand it doesn't mean that's not what it is.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
You know, again, you know, guesswork, just ask, you know.
And I'd love people to ask me. Like, I think also just sexual abuse, people don't ask. People are scared to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, and I can understand why. I think if you'd have probably asked me 10 years ago, I would have given you an honest answer, but how that would have come out, who knows. Whereas now I feel like a place where, you know, ask away. I'm willing to share what you need to know. If it's going to benefit you in any way, I will happily tell you.
Mm. So you've more or less what is, going back to touching base, like to just swing back round to that comment about your relationship with Chloe in those first 6 months and how and what you was put through. I could hold so much space for her, fuck. I really can. You know, if you could, you know, if I could literally meet you there and be there, there's so much I'd want to say to you. Do you know what I mean? Not just as a friend, but just as a woman and as a mum. Because that shit matters to me, like air, as you know. Oh my God, I could just hug the shit out of you and just tell you that it's not the case. There's nothing you could do. In fact, knowing you how I know you, I just would tell you that would not be who you are. That's not what you would do. And
I knew it. It wasn't that I even doubted that I would be an abuser. It was literally my external locus of evaluation that everyone else is going to judge me like that.
Yeah.
But thankfully, when I look at my daughter, I think, fuck, I've done a fucking great job, because she is emotionally intelligent, she's raw, he's not afraid to say anything about that little girl and protect her to all levels.
Yeah.
Which I wish someone had done that for me. And when I look at her and I just think, oh my God, like, you are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And again, my son, he's not quite where she's at and he knows everything, but he's so emotionally intelligent. Like this morning on her gratitude, which I said earlier, he was like, Mum, I'm so grateful that you are doing a podcast and I'm so proud of you. And he meant that from his head to his toes.
Bless him.
So, you know, and I don't think my
He's
parenting
so
style would have been
in.
so different had I not experienced what I had. So yeah, that year was fucking awful and really, really hard work. But my parenting style has evolved, it's grown as I've grown up. Chloe and I pretty much grew up together.
Yeah. That was Sheridan.
And I'm grateful that the path that I travelled, I don't ever regret. I've learned so much. I've learned so much. I don't really know where to go from that.
And just the fact that, like, you know, if you would have had the support system in place for yourself as the one that you've been to your own 2 children, you can't doubt your abilities. You've only got to look at your babies and you can't doubt your abilities.
No,
you've got the skills.
Yeah.
But what's good to share with our audience is that you've got those skills through being that honest, through being that authentic, through getting it wrong, then getting it right, through learning, through desire to be better, to want better, to know that there is better.
And owning it. I've owned my shit. Like this morning, Vinny wanted to wear a new pair of trainers to school for PE, and I was like, no, I like a nice pair of trainers when he goes out. My shit. I came down, I said to him, no, you're not wearing them. I went upstairs, I thought, don't be a dick. Why are you being a dick? He wants to wear a pair of trainers. I came back downstairs and said, I really shouldn't have talked to you like that. I'm really sorry about that.
I love that.
Wear those trainers. Mum got it wrong.
Yeah.
So, and he was like, I think that's okay, Mum. Don't worry about it. But actually, my go-to, sometimes when we react, it's like, it's okay to take it back.
Yeah.
Like, show your kids you're sorry.
Oh.
You fucked up.
If you know the amount of times I ring them back, or I go downstairs, I'm like, listen, that's the moment I had, nothing to do with you, let me tell you. Yeah, and I own it all the time. My kids are like, you're fine, you're that job, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we know about you, but the thing is, they also know that I own it.
Yeah.
So at the times that I don't own it, they know that that shit's real.
Yeah.
You know, like she's okay.
What a lesson to learn to teach your kids.
Yeah, that you're wrong.
Yeah.
And accountability.
And it's okay.
And you know what, I get this thing wrong all the time, but you know what, I'm aware that I get it wrong, and I'm big enough to come and say I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? So, anyway, going back down to that, there's, I wanted to swing that round to Chloe, but, I mean, again, we've sort of digressed. What is your view on people, then? People that have been abused, that have been sexually abused, that are abusers.
My view on my view on sexual abuse is that if you're living, breathing and functioning, you're a survivor. That is my first view. On the people that say that they were abused because they're sexually abused, I think it's absolute bullshit. I think it's like me chopping my arm off and saying, I'm going to chop your arm off because I chopped my own arm off, my arm was chopped off. Absolutely fucking not. Why would you create a physical, mental injury on someone because you've had it done to you? Maybe they haven't dealt with stuff, maybe they have trauma. Personally, from someone who has been and lived through it, I would never ever dream of inflicting the amount of pain and suffering and learning and torturing myself the way I have, and abusing myself the way I have, on anybody else. I wouldn't dream of it.
No. Do you think that's because of a desire to do better?
For me, it's common fucking decency. But
you don't think it comes of wanting to be better, knowing and learning how to be better?
Maybe. I don't think I've always wanted to be better. I think I've not always wanted to be better. I've been on self-destruct a few times, and I'll own my shit, I've destructed a few people in my path. Because I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care if I lived, died, I didn't care. I cared about people, I love people, and I would probably fight the world for any of those people I loved, but I wouldn't care. If someone does it to me, it didn't matter.
Oh, so it was on you, it wasn't for others, it was you was self-destruct for you.
Yeah, I would literally fight the world for people that I love, but if you're fighting for me, don't worry about it. Walk over. Just stamping me on the way past. I just did have no value for myself whatsoever.
What did that?
Zero.
Was that easier? It's hard work to change, Lucy.
I think numbing was easier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the turmoil was easier. I truly believe that I didn't feel good enough to be anything.
So,
I was damaged. I was damaged goods, if you like. I was not good enough. I'm never going to amount to anything. At secondary school, I only cared about my friends. I didn't give a shit about education, so the grades weren't that great. Apart from I did get an A in English literature, which I actually wrote part of the story that I'm actually writing now, interestingly. But I got an A for that. But I didn't care. I didn't have any self-worth. There was nothing to care for. I could care for others, but I couldn't care for myself.
Have you ever deep dived on that, Lucy?
A million times. I think I still have a not good enough a lot. Something I'm working really hard on. It's much better. Am I there? No. Will I ever be there? No, I don't think so. And it's that worrying about what other people think. Because when I was at school, and came in the paper. My mum was a teacher at the same school, and it didn't name my name, but it named my date of birth and who the abuser was. So everybody knew. And it's that guessing as a child what everyone is talking about, because everyone's looking at you and talking, and you haven't got a clue what's going on. And I think my fear of judgment has always stemmed from that very moment. So I'm always, and I think that's probably rippled to the Chloe thing. It ripples into relationships, who I go out with, what people will think. I mean, the last one, what a drama. But I think I say I don't care, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes, generally, I couldn't give a shit what you think. But sometimes I will be like, you're a bad person, you're this, they think that. And nobody's actually said anything to me. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fucking arseholes that are judgmental, that should stop judging, because actually if I aired your dirty laundry, maybe we wouldn't be so quick to judge. But
or even if you owned your shit to accountability and you aired your laundry, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, exactly.
I know I wanted to see that girl. And especially the women, I find.
Yeah.
That, you know, have cheated on their husbands several times, but yet have the audacity to judge others. Anyway, I'll leave that there for the masses. But it's that, and I worry, and I wish people had said to me, why did you, especially with my partner now, why did you choose to do that? Why did you choose him out of everyone? Because I have reasons, and I have real deep, meaningful reasons, and
why you chose who you're currently with.
Yeah, and I knew that there was going to be some sort of backlash. I didn't realise how much, but he is my safe space. And I don't think I've ever had that safe space.
What I find incredible is your version of him that I know, and the only version of him I know, because I don't know him from previous, is not what people think he is.
No. And
it blows my mind how he's two totally different people.
And I know that I do all the work, but without a secure base, it's really hard to do the work. And he is definitely that for me. He's opened a new part of me that I haven't opened. And so yeah, that's it. I'm not going to make it all about him because it's about sexual abuse, but that's my thing.
But he's definitely, yeah. So, how can I ask you, just to wrap this episode up, we spoke about tools, skills, explorations, your journey. What if anybody could take anything away from this episode in regards to helping themselves, supporting themselves, or things that you may suggest that have worked for you that may not have been like your normal. I mean, we know you've done counselling.
I think counselling has its place. My thought of counselling was go and try loads, because I say one size doesn't fit all. I also sometimes go, because I'm obviously a counsellor now, sometimes clients go for me and they're not fit. And that's okay. And I say to them, look, I don't think I'm the right person to support you on your journey. And I think the same with others. Go and try them out. Go and try things.
That's a golden nugget in itself, to think that you can
choose. Be particular.
Be particular.
Someone said to me, "You have to fall in love with your counsellor." What I was like, what? But actually, you have to have that deep, meaningful connection in that room. So maybe I wouldn't say love. Maybe did I love my life counsellor? Oh, absolutely. But it's your version of love. Inner child work, doing those things that you missed out on as well. Like, not always. I've done the letter to the child and the child to me, and I've done some really powerful plant medicine sessions about that that little girl, and giving her a hug, but also having that fun, like going on the rides. Well, I can't remember what I did. Oh my god, when we went to Bali, we went to this magical restaurant where we could cast, silly little things that should be meant for kids. Oh my god, my inner child was literally screaming. Like, skip down the road, hold hands. Chloe still holds my hand, she's 24 years old.
I do mine.
and do those fun things, because I think when you see inner child work, it's all about digging and digging and digging. Sometimes it's just about having fun. And I think there are various other things. I've been for healing, spiritual healing. I've done plant medicine. I've done life coaching. I've gone to seminars. I've read books. I don't think there's a wrong or a right way. And you do it at your own pace. Like, you cannot just rip off the plaster. It doesn't work. In my experience, I think do it at your own pace. If you want to go for 6 sessions and think, fucking hell, I've had enough, I'm not ready to go anymore, that's fine. When they told me I needed 100 hours of counselling to qualify as a counsellor, I thought, what the fuck am I going to talk about? Like, literally, I've got 100 hours in there, dealt with it, I'm fine. You know, I wasn't, but, and there's always going to be something, and it'll come up in different ways, but it's okay. And have a secure network, like people around you that you can tell, actually, this is how I feel, this is where I'm at, and treasure them. You don't need lots of people, you just need one.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I've got 6 or 7, but I've worked hard to get them. You know what I mean?
That's been a process.
I had to filter through a lot of shit to get there.
Yeah, I love that. And especially the part of, you know, as you get as an adult, it gets too serious. Like, it's not even about, everyone remembers what used to light their fire when they were little, like you say, and have the opportunity to do it. But as you was explaining that then, you can actually see visually the excitement on your face.
Well, I missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
I can't remember, because my brain has had a way of shutting out some pretty horrific trauma. And it's about, sorry I keep burping because of drum coat, about saying, right, I missed that, so what am I going to do to feel that? Like, I can't do it as a child, but I can damn well do it as an adult, and I can bloody enjoy my time doing it.
Yeah. Just to finish your note, what do you think of that little girl now?
Oh, I'm so proud. I'm proud that she got here. I'm proud. And she needs lots of hugs. She needs a lot of love still. And I'm going to continue on that journey and having fun and being sad. Sometimes it's all right to be sad for that little girl that lost a lot of childhood, but
yeah, give her the opportunity to let it out that she didn't get when she was little.
Yeah, very, but at the same time being very brave and very older 4 years before she needed to be. So yeah, that's lots of love. Yeah, and I'm getting it in lots of directions currently, which is really nice. And I'm grateful for.
Yeah, and I'm grateful for the fact that you're willing, your openness and willing to share. And I really hope that our audience finds some takeouts from that, or even just to understand a little bit more about you. And as you say, you're about to share a lot more in the book that you're currently working on, which I'm super excited for.
Also, like, reach out. DM us. I mean, I don't know, how we would manage if we got thousands upon thousands, but we would try. We'd have a right fucking good go at it.
Yeah.
So message us, if you've got questions, if there's things you want to know, if you've got, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have around this sexual abuse. We've got a guy that's going to come in and give a guy's perspective on sexual abuse.
Yeah.
In our up and coming podcast. And if there's any subjects you'd like to know about, like, reach out to us. We want to interact with you guys as much as possible. And like Wendy said a million times, like, we're not afraid of the subjects. Sex, if you're interested in sex, you're a professional or something, work around sex, like, come on and educate us. There's probably stuff I still do not know as a 42-year-old about sex. There's probably stuff I don't even know about my vagina. Still now, as a 42-year-old, and let's have those honest conversations. Is there anything you want to add to that? Just roll.
No, we're definitely lighting the mood after this one.
Yeah. So yeah, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. And get some inspiration from you. Thanks for watching. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.